You know, the one thing that I was excited about when I got into the EMS and firefighting career was the thought of brotherhood. Coming together as one unit to always support each other no matter what. And then I came across a wonderful article called 5 Reasons Why EMS Doesn't Deserve Higher Pay. So let's find out what happened when Sean woke up on the wrong side of the bed and decided to give the old heave-ho to his brothers and sisters in this wonderfully written article. Number 1, we don't deserve anything. We signed up for the job, we knew what we were getting into, and we understood the pay that we were getting coming in. You see, the problem is when you're painting this picture, you're making it sound like we walked in day one and said, "Hey Jim, welcome to your first day."
Yeah, that's nice. Listen, I'm not getting on that truck unless you give me $3 more an hour right now.
But in reality, it's the people that have actually put time and effort into their jobs, perfecting their craft of being an EMT or paramedic, showing loyalty to the jobs of the companies that they work for, and all they're asking for is a livable wage that'll help combat increases in things like insurance costs, costs of living, and maybe help them put that thing called, food on their families' tables. But instead, they're met with excuses and really asinine articles like this. Number 2, we need higher educational standards, and what I love about this little piece is you compare us to burgers and then tell us that we need to produce a better product. Now, the one question I have is, are we the burgers or are the patients the burgers? Because if we need to produce better patients in order to get more pay, I'm going to be having some interesting conversations here in the future.
How bad is it?
Well, your heart rate's 180 right now, but I've been eyeing this new sweet sports car, so could you hold your breath and bump it up to 220 so I can get that fat pay raise? Did you ever think that maybe people don't want to get a higher education level because they're pretty much almost guaranteed to not make any money to compensate for that? So I know this is one of those double-edged swords, but I promise you, if companies offered to pay more money for people coming on, they'd probably be a little more willing to shell out more money in school, knowing that they're not going to be making $9 an hour working 6 other jobs. And the pièce de résistance of this crap of an article is when you say that EMS needs to give up the lifesaver label because we didn't create the protocols or do the medical research prior to getting on the job. That's like saying a mechanic doesn't repair vehicles because he didn't invent the wrench. You see, we're all part of that really long chain of survival, and if one of those links pop out, then the patient dies, because if we don't get him to the hospital, they die. If we get him to the hospital and the doctor's a moron, they die. If we get him to the hospital and the doctor's not a moron, but the nurse gives them the wrong amount of medication, they die. And remember, the next time you want to call someone a child for having a hero-like mindset, remember the only thing that's keeping them coming to that job every day and sitting their butt in that seat, missing holidays and special time with their family, going on little to no sleep and pumping more caffeine and fast food in their body than any human should ever have, is the love for their family and the fact that every day that they get home, they get to stare at themselves in the mirror and be proud of the person that they became, which is most likely that childhood dream of becoming a hero and a lifesaver.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.